Hi Year 7, this video intends to outline the Year 7 Economics CAT in terms of the instructions, the structure, where to access the CAT file if you are completing your Economics CAT digitally via remote learning this week. So I'm going to provide you with a little sample of what it might look like, not the actual test paper, but what it might look like, talk you through how to navigate a digital CAT, and then hopefully by the end of this, if you have any questions or concerns, you will, of course, immediately ask your teacher and you will forward them on, email them, talk to them in Google Classroom, via Compass. The best thing to do if you have a question is to ask that question, because you get one question equals one answer equals one solution, 1 mark that you'll get on your CAT. So if you have concerns or questions about remote learning, because it can be stressful and overwhelming at times, the best thing you can do is to let your teacher know you have a problem so that we can help you fix that problem and help you feel less stressed and less overwhelmed. But anyway, when you are completing a digital CAT via Google Forms, so some of you will be familiar with Google Forms, you might have encountered them in the past. It's essentially like a digital test, a digital survey or quiz, whatever you want to call it. The first thing you'll see is this little intro screen, so you know you're in the right place. So Sem 1 Economics CAT. Make sure you're using your GWC email account, otherwise you won't be given access to the CAT. So if you log on, it's not letting you access this test, you might want to check on the top right corner and just make sure that you've got your GWC school account there, because sometimes the browser will auto-lock you into your Gmail account, something like that. The next page gives you some just basic instructions for your CAT. So in terms of the time to complete it, it's the same as if it would be on site. So 40 to 45 minutes, 1 lesson. Just a few tips and tricks. So as you read each question, identify the key instructional terms. So identify, define, explain, etc. Reflect on mark allocation before preparing your response. So if this question is worth 1 mark, I should do this much. If this question is worth 4 marks, okay, what do I need to do to get 4 marks? Do I need to provide an example here, define this, provide more detail in my response? Simple things, but we need to do the simple things correctly. Otherwise, we won't be able to understand the complicated things. Carefully review your answers before submitting the assessment, as you'll be unable to change your responses once you submit the CAT. Again, true to if you were sitting there completing the CAT at school, you want to double check, triple check your answers. Not just your answers, but double check the questions. Have you answered the question correctly? Important thing to note about this technology, the Google form will record the date and the time of your submission. So you can't complete this the day after your Humanities lesson, because we'll know. We can't complete this 6 hours after our submission, again, because it'll show your teacher when you've submitted this. So it's important to complete this during your Humanities lesson. Students who submit their CAT after the allocated time will have their CAT marked as late. The test is to be completed closed book without any support resources. So you have no access to your textbook, class slides, your notebook during this CAT. We're hoping it's not necessary, but there is a plagiarism check feature in Google Forms that allows you to authenticate whether this student has put in their own work or whether they've copy and pasted information off the internet. I'll show you what that looks like. So there's a little feature here called check plagiarism or originality, and we can use that to authenticate whether this is your CAT or whether this is the internet's CAT. But hopefully that's not going to be necessary. So what you're going to do after you read the instructions is enter your student name and your student code. And then you'll get to the actual test page. So it's only 1 page, similar to the dev task in terms of the structure, the content, the types of questions you're going to get. So if you've done well in the dev, you should feel confident moving into the CAT. And if you've got areas to improve on in the dev, then that's fine, because you can do a bit of revision, a bit of study, and you'll know what you need to do differently when you get to the CAT. So it starts out with a case study. So it's going to be about a paragraph of text describing the financial details of an individual case study. So it could be talking about their income, their expenses, their financial goals. Again, similar to the dev task. Then you'll be given a graph. Not this pretty, but there'll be a graph that shows you a bit of financial data, and you have to interpret that data to help answer the questions below. So the questions will be listed below. You just have to click on the space, provide your answer. Again, you want to be careful with how many marks each question is worth, because that means, okay, I need to add in an extra sentence worth of information here, or an extra example, an extra statistic, etc. be specific with your answers. The cat will have more than 3 questions. This is just a sample. Once I've put in my very detailed answers, for the letter J there, and let's go for a T here. Once I've done that, all I need to do is press submit at the bottom, and I'll be given this screen here that shows that I've submitted my cat correctly. So don't quit out of the page before you see this screen. After you completed that, you should be given your results probably next week in terms of how you've done in the cat. Now remember that this is a 2-part cat, so there's 2 lessons to complete your cat. Case study 1, case study 2. When you are sitting your cat, make sure you're completing the correct one. So for example, if I go back to my class, this case study 1, case study 2, make sure you're completing the right cat on the day. If you complete case study 1, and then you click on that same link to go for the next one the next day, and you're like, oh, I've already completed the cat, super. Don't do that. Remember that you have 2 cats to complete, essentially. And again, if you have any questions or concerns about that, please let your teacher know. In terms of where to access your cat file, some teachers will be placing the link to that Google form, to that cat, in their Compass lesson plan. So you can just click on a link, a URL, and that'll take you straight to the cat, complete the cat, done. Some teachers may have set up a Google Classroom, such as this, and there'll be instructions in your Compass lesson plan. Go to Google Classroom, click on the link, complete it, you're done. So it'll usually be scheduled just before your class starts, and then again, the due date will be the end of your lesson. So the due time will be 50 minutes after that scheduled time there. Same with Compass. There'll be a due date in Compass learning tasks. You need to submit that on time before the end of your lesson. Again, any questions or concerns, guys, please let us know. Your teachers are very happy to help you if you let us know there is a problem. Otherwise, best of luck during remote learning, best of luck during your cat, and thank you.